Hello there, everyone. It's 6:30 in the morning on the 6th of June. Hope everyone had a wonderful 4-day bank holiday and had a nice relaxing time. I know I did. It's just a quick one, this one. It's how everyone's doing, really. Just I have a customer that requires site clearances, so I've got a waste license, and sometimes it's easier just to try and subbie some out, get them back. And on Tuesday, the customer said, I've got a site clearance, it's just some cabinets, steelwork, on Wednesday from Portsmouth. I'm based in Manchester. But he said, normally what we do is clear the site, take it back to them, they dispose of it themselves. Scrap metal goes to the scrappy, it gets weighed in, they get paid for it. Rubbish goes in the skips and it gets skipped. And he said it's just cabinets and steelwork. See if you can get someone in Portsmouth to pick it up, scrap it themselves, because we're not going to have time to deal with it, we've got nowhere to store it. So I thought, brilliant, it can't be that hard. Someone in Portsmouth is going to have a waste license, aren't they? And they're going to want to scrap it, weigh it in and get paid for it. Like in Manchester area where I am, it's £200 a tonne at the minute for scrap metal. Down south it's probably similar. So I put it up on a couple of groups I'm in, no interest, but on the CX I got one bid, one. So I had a look, and from where I was picking up from, the nearest scrappy in Portsmouth was half an hour away. It was roughly about half a tonne, if not a bit more, so you're looking about 120 quid in scrap metal once you've weighed it in. 500 quid plus VAT, someone quoted me. 500 quid for them to pick it up, take it to the scrappy and get paid another 100 quid. I was thought that's a joke, so I declined it straight away. 5 seconds later, phone rings. It's the same guy trying to convince me that for him to weigh it in, it'd cost him 250 quid for the van load, and he wanted 250 quid to pick it up. I don't know what he was smoking. I really don't. So I thought, there's other options. I wasn't doing anything Wednesday myself. I had some stuff at home to do, had some stuff work-wise to do. I could go and get it myself, bring it back, scrap it myself. Or I thought, I've got enough to do. I can't really do that, so I put it up as a job. Collect 3 cabinets from Portsmouth, deliver them back to Lee, to my place. I think it was 260 miles and 160 quid plus that I got quoted. Amazing. Really cheap. It's clearly someone wanting to get home. And he wasn't picking up till 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the Wednesday, so it worked out well for this guy. So I phoned him, he was dead happy, getting a return load, even though it was dirt cheap. And then I thought, get him back to me, I'll store him until I've got time to go and scrap him. So he picked him up on the Wednesday, and he phoned me after he picked him up, and he went, oh, can I drop him off on the Thursday morning? I went, no, perfect for me. I don't want to have to wait around until 6, 7 o'clock for someone to turn up so I can offload him. 8 o'clock in the morning, he rocks up, helps me offload him and balls him off. So I'm in a chat with him. He's got a extra long wheelbase Sprinter, 2016 plate. I was talking about the Crafter versus the Sprinter. Mine's a 28 plate, 2018 plate, not 28, I'm not even there yet. Anyway, he was talking about different vans, and I said, are you going to get a different van? he had quite a few miles on his van. He went, oh, I'm not sure actually. I went, why? What's up? He went, I don't know if I'm going to carry on doing this. There's not enough money in it. The job's going too cheap. The CX is just rammed full of drivers and no decent paying work. But it made me think, like, if you're quoting 160 quid for a 260 quid job, a 260 mile job, you're not going to make it much money. Going from Portsmouth back to the Manchester area, you're looking at 80 quid in diesel. It's half your money you got already. Plus, then you got your maintenance of your van and everything like that, and your insurance. Yeah, I understand going cheap to get home, but there's going cheap, then there's going too cheap. Like, so I was willing to pay a bit more, but he was the only person who actually bid on it in the end, so he's the one who got it. But I was talking to him, he said 2022 is going to be like a make or break year for him. Whether he carries on in the industry or not. He's been doing it for a couple of years. And I just said, like, you need to figure out your running costs, because if you're running dirt cheap everywhere, you're not going to make a profit. You're not going to be making much money. Like, and if you want to expand or get a new van, or you need like some decent rates. And I noticed in his van, he had a fire extinguisher in the back, full ADR kit, he had ADR plates on the front and back. And I said, do you do a lot of ADR work? Because I used to do quite a bit of ADR work. And he said, yeah, I do the odd one, probably like 1 or 2 a week, not through the CX. Now, ADR is dangerous chemicals, 90% of the time. They're hazardous, like fucking flammable. They're not normally stuff that you want to be carrying. That's why you have to have a license to carry them. You have to have plates in your van so people know what you're carrying. And you have to have your ADR kit in case anything goes wrong. You can cover it and get it sorted until the emergency services like the fire brigade get there to help you out. So you should be looking at like £2 a mile for a long wheelbase, ADR minimum. It's hazardous chemicals. You need that. £1 a mile he was getting. £1 a mile for ADR. I said, I'm like, do you start quoting on jobs that low, or like, do you start higher and because you're not getting them, you've gone lower? He went, no, I just started at £1 a mile. That's all customers are willing to pay. I was like, for ADR, it's really not. Like, it's hazardous goods. You need to charge appropriately. It's like alcohol deliveries. You're delivering to a pub, you might be doing a cellar drop, you might have to park for half a mile away to walk down because it's on, and like, you can't drive down that street. Like, you've got to charge accordingly. I think some people just go straight to the per mile. Oh, I'm doing 200 miles, I'm going to charge £1 a mile, and charge £1.50 a mile, and charge £2 a mile. You need to think about what you're actually delivering, like what goods are on your vehicle. You can't be delivering chemicals for £1 a mile. There's too much risk, and you've got to have a license. The insurance alone is costing you more. You've got to charge accordingly. And it should. I do think at the minute there's a lot of drivers, and like there's enough work for everyone, but it's all going cheap. Especially on the CX, like with my own customers, it's fine. Like I get a decent rate. I'm really happy with that. With the CX, it's very cheap, very, very cheap. Like today, I'm in Harold Hill, Romford now. Just got to wait for the riggers to arrive, and then delivering. Then I've got to go over to. Let's have a look. I've got to go over to Rainham, Essex, and then I've got to go over to Dartford. So that's 2 deliveries and 1 collection, all for the same customer, all at a really good rate. And the collection is that small that I could find another job easily. Like, there's no rush on it, so I'm not cold loading. Theoretically, I am cold loading because there's going to be 2 lots of goods on board, but one of them can stay on my van for the rest of the week if it needs to. There's no rush. So I know doing these, I've made enough money for the day, and I can drive home. But if I wanted to, I could find another job on the CX, and I could quote cheap, could quote 80p, 90p a mile, just to get my fuel money home. But like, I'm making decent money. If you're running on the CX both ways and you're charging 80, 90p a mile, you're not making decent money, and you need to in this industry. Run a van, service, maintain it, everything like that. Like, I've been in this industry a long time, and the company I used to work for never changed their pricing structure, and that's how things got so bad there as they were, because they never moved on with the times. They've been going for 25 years and they've been charging the same for the last 15. You can't do that. Like, just a couple of years ago, fuel was £1 a litre. No, £1.80. £1.80 plus £2 at services. You can't charge the same as you did back then as you do now. It doesn't make any sense. Like, my fuel bill's gone from £500 a week to £750 a week, doing the same mileage. It's an extra £250. It's an extra £1,000 a month. That needs to be added on to the customer. Like the cost of buying a new van is sky high. Even buying second-hand high mileage vans, sky high. I think people just need to really figure out their pricing structures. And there's a load of YouTubers out there that do it, and they go over their prices, and they're doing well, or they're doing okay. But I think customers need to be willing, and shippers need to be willing to pay the right amount to keep everything flowing and keep drivers on the road. Otherwise, they're all just going to start quitting, finding new jobs. And like we had the HGV problem where there wasn't enough drivers, it'll be the same with van drivers eventually if it carries on this sort of pricing. It's going to price drivers out of the job, not necessarily me. Just who can afford to run a van and fuel and get paid like the minimum? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's me, my little rant over. Hope everyone had a lovely Jubilee weekend, and hope everyone has a great week this week. Comment, like, subscribe, anything like that if you want. If not, I'll post another video and bother everyone else again. See ya.